Colbert Show and this James Tallarico guy who's running for Senate in a primary against Jasmine Crockett. So James Tallarico was on the Colbert Show, but they didn't air it on the actual show on TV. They only posted it online. And then when they posted it, James Tallarico said essentially that the FCC forbade CBS from airing his segment, which is a lie. They just said, listen, according to rules that have been around for decades, if you have a candidate in a primary on and you're on network TV, you have to give equal time to Jasmine.
Right.
And I guess for whatever reason, Colbert didn't want to give equal time to Jasmine. And so they just made it sound like this is Trump's fault. Essentially, it's Trump's FCC and they're to blame. And this is all crazy and ridiculous. And I can't believe I'm on Jasmine's side on this, but like you should be, you know what I mean? Because this is crazy. And he raised so much money as a result of the lie. And I don't blame her for being mad. This is going to be a really crazy primary. And as conservatives, we should want Jasmine to win because Tallarico is more normal than she is. He's also a Democrat and he's awful, but he's more normal than she is. And he could actually be pretty competitive considering our Republican primary in that Senate Texas race is a complete shit show.
Yeah, but doesn't the rule have something to do with the fact with whether or not the show is like a news show? That's what I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong about that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But like, are these who determines whether or not these are news shows? Because let's face it, a lot of these news shows are absolute shit. Like even like if you watch like Mika and Joe, which is considered a news show, I wouldn't watch that show to get my news if my life depended on it.
Right.
So this is the thing, like they're trying to determine like what a news show is as opposed to what a culture kind of show is. And I don't know, I guess the FCC determines that.
Well, Brendan Carr was on with Laura Ingraham last night to talk about this very issue, and she wanted to get the skinny from him. So one of the questions she had is like, what's the reality here? Why is this even a thing? Why is the media pouncing on this story? And that is what he tried to explain. There's two clips of him. Here is the first one.
Here with me exclusively is FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, the man of the moment. Mr. Chairman, set the record straight. What happened? You're censoring people over there now. You're afraid. You're on the verge of going after CBS.
Well, President Trump has been so far ahead of the curve on so many issues, as you noted, on the economy, on border security, and perhaps nowhere else when he called out the legacy media for being fake news. And yesterday, the American people got to see that on full display. And it's why people have more trust and faith in gas station sushi today than they do in the legacy news media. This was Democrat on Democrat violence. CBS was very clear that Colbert could run the interview that he wanted with that political candidate. They just said you may have to comply with equal time, which would have meant potentially giving airtime to Jasmine Crockett and another candidate. But instead of doing that, they claimed that they were victims. This was all about a political candidate trying to get attention and clicks. And the news media ran with it like lemmings. They just ate it up.
This is what they do, right?
Yeah, well, they are lemmings. Yeah, totally.
Completely. And so they don't want, I mean, even Democrats are smart enough to know that if Jasmine is their person, they have much less of a shot at beating whoever our GOP person is going to be. And that is
so like all the people behind her in that ad weren't real people. Is that what you're saying to me, Mock? What?
I know, right? It's crazy. I mean, man, I just wish Wesley Hunt was our guy and Ken Paxton would bow out, Cornyn would bow out, because he is a force. Yeah. He's so good, but unfortunately he's not. He's in third place right now, which absolutely sucks. So anyway, that's a whole other story. But Brendan Carr, Laura Ingraham also asked Brendan Carr, well, why wouldn't CBS want to have Jasmine on? And here's how he answered that question.
This actually got Jasmine Crockett, of course, because she's running against Tallarico. She said CBS didn't try to censor this. They just didn't want her on CBS. Now, why do you think CBS or Colbert, excuse me, wouldn't want Jasmine Crockett on the show?
Well, that's a good question for them, but this is exactly why. If you're going to have one on, you need to make sure that there's equal airtime for all others. And
yes, I'm standing up for Jasmine Crockett. I know that's what everyone's wondering out there. They're all wondering why. Because, you can kind of see what's going on. By the way, to this point, Tallarico raised $2.5 million for his campaign in the first 24 hours after the fake hoax of the censorship. So was this perhaps their plan all along?
Interesting.
Of course, I think this was the plan. It was designed to get clicks. It reminds me of the meme where someone puts a stick in the front spoke of their bicycle wheel, falls to the ground, and claims that they were a victim. He raised a lot of money. He got a lot of clicks. He wanted a leg up on his political opposition in the Democratic primary. And he knew that the legacy media would run with the story. They ate it up. When the facts came out and showed that what he said was false, the FCC did not refuse to air anything. We don't do that. The media just turned around and said, well, it's Trump's fault that we fell for the hoax in the first place. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up.
It's Trump's fault.
It's so true.
Oh my
That's
God.
exactly what they did.
Oh, the hangnail. It's Trump's fault.
It's so ridiculous.
Shut up.
Oh my God, it's so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it
And
is.
we've got so much to talk about when it comes to media and how utterly unself-aware they are. But we also need to tell you about protecting your data. And you can do that. There's like all those Find Me websites out there and classmates.com. I mean, there's so many websites that tell people where you are, where you live, like all your phone numbers and your emails and all the stuff. And if you want privacy, think about joindeleteme.com/chicks.
Yeah. If you've ever been a victim of identity theft or harassment or doxing, you know that this is not good, you guys. This is serious stuff. And it happens to so many people. And if you haven't known, or if you haven't had it happen to you, you know somebody who has been a victim of that. And DeleteMe can help you with that stuff. If you actually go through the process, because we've been through the process, you are shocked by how your name is like in so many, you're like, wait, what? You're like, how did it end up
How do
there?
they
Like,
know
what?
this about me?
Right. It's like, it's so crazy, like where your name is and where your personal information is. And you just don't know until you go out there and you look. So this is not a one-time service. It always works for you. It's like constantly monitoring and removing personal information that you just do not want out there. It is fantastic. And so New York Times, actually, the Wirecutter, it named them their top pick for data removal.
Ooh.
So it's awesome, you guys. You should take control of this stuff and keep your private life private, which is really important to me. Sign up for DeleteMe. You can get a special discount because you're one of our listeners. Get 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/chicks, code chicks.